The second thing that Og would always talk about was embrace failure. And he talked about Dorothea Brand as one of the people who was a huge influence on him. And I think it helped him. She also had struggled with alcohol and came back to become a prolific writer. And so he would talk about learn from failure. Learn from failure. Zig Ziglar, another one of my what I learned from characters, used to say, failure is an event. It's not a person. Don't find your identity in it. And so how can we learn from it? The good golfers, they learn from their mistakes. They try not to hit 2 bad shots in a row. We've got to do it. One of my favorite dynamics there of one of my favorite quotes from Og says that failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. And it's a good deal. So he would always say, you got to learn from it. One of the ways to do that was to reflect. And just a simple little thing, and I have a little book I keep in my backpack with me as I go to work every day, and it's what went well, what didn't go so well, what can I learn from that? What went well, what didn't go so well, what can I learn from that? And here's the key. Tremendous success, tremendous transformation happens one little day at a time. The brilliant dynamics of AA and the genius behind the methodology there. And talk about guys that have taken a lot of criticism from both secular and religious quarters. But they've delivered so many people from the clutches of alcoholism and drug abuse. And it's one day at a time. One day at a time. One day at a time is how you overcome addiction. But I would also say to you that one day at a time, reflecting on the day, what went well, what didn't go so well, what can I learn from that, is actually how you get better. One day at a time. And one day at a time, over time, produces transformational change, significant change. It's just you got to be patient, persistent. Most mornings I wake up early and I go out. My daughter starts her lessons with her Olympic coach at 6:45 in the mornings. And what a privilege it is for me to go in my backyard and watch a young lady pursuing her dream to make the Olympic team. And every day, and I watch it. And some days, it's like, my goodness, this is never going to happen. I've heard her say, I'm never going to get it. And then little bit by little bit by little bit, little bit by little bit. And the next thing you know, you eventually can put it all together like she did this year at the World Championships. Og used to say, I will pause whenever I'm feeling sorry for myself today. And remember that this is the only day I have and must play it to the fullest. So that kind of brings it all back to that this is a game. We want to learn from our failure. We want to reflect on the day. And then if things go sideways, you get back in the game. Og used to tell the story of the cat that jumped up on a hot stove. And he said, well, he never jumped up on a hot stove again. But he said he never jumped up on a cold stove again either. He never jumped at all. And so the thing is, we've all jumped on a hot stove. We've all made mistakes, said things we wished we hadn't said, done things we wish we hadn't done, tried things that didn't work out. And then the key is, how do you learn, how do you grow, and how do you get back in the game? And that's how you win in the game.
Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.